Billy Joe Saunders. I told you a lot about it. I told you a lot about this geezer. It's just too much. Billy Joe Saunders claims he now has the flu and he hasn't even started training. Hasn't started training at all. And he's 10 days already behind. Because he's got the flu. So, are you using them nasal sprays then again? Guys, I'm just so over it. I'm so over him. I know you guys always see going on to him, but I don't care because I go with my gut. And I tell you, this guy, he does good things and he's a good fighter. But he's just like you've seen in previous commentary, I'll link it below, of me stating that, I don't see him being able to beat Canelo. In order to beat Canelo, Canelo's been undefeated since he fought Floyd Mayweather at the tender age of 23. He's now 30. Floyd was 26, so that was it's been a 7-year reign of being undefeated. The closest that he came, and some will say, Triple G definitely beat him in the first fight. I would lean towards that as well. But hey, it was close. Lara, being a southpaw, he gave him a good old few whacks, and I believe that was a win. But hey, who am I? I'm not a judge. Well, these judges don't seem to be judges. But anyway, he has adapted since losing to Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if you guys have noticed, he's adapted all of Floyd's tactics. The shoulder roll, how he moves his head movement, his defense. He has, yes, a southpaw who's given him problems. It doesn't matter, he's still got the win. 6'3" Callum Smith got picked to pieces like a bird picking at a worm. Yeah, to pieces. Doesn't matter about his height. Do you think that Canelo, with the millions he's amassed, and remember coming off of that Golden Boy lawsuit of release me because you guys haven't given me any fights, De La Hoya, and you owe me X amount of millions. Do you think he's done all of this worth millions to get beaten by Billy Joe Saunders? If Billy Joe Saunders was that great, he would have scooped up all these belts and tried to unify the division himself. He's been inactive and had no more than 3 fights in 5 years. His last fight, may I reiterate again, to Martin Murray, was Chris Eubanks Jr. He got a points decision on Chris Eubanks Jr. And that was a task. I'm not saying that BJS is not a good fighter, but there's a difference between a good fighter, a great fighter. All right, I could even say he's a great fighter. But is he an elite fighter? Has he ever shown us that he's an elite fighter? So, in order to be able to beat, in my opinion, Canelo, it's not that Canelo's unbeatable. It's just that he can't beat him. You're going to have to be the same level or better than Floyd Mayweather. That's what you're going to have to. Those are the stops that you're going to have to pull out. And I just don't think you're at the same level as Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, you can give Canelo a little run for his money. So the strap that he's got, it's on his way to Canelo. What was I going to say? Basically, what Canelo's done, and what anybody that treats their losses or a loss or even a draw as a lesson, Canelo's taken near enough all the good bits of everybody that he's fought and beaten and lost to in the case of Floyd Mayweather, and used it and added it to his arsenal. Billy Joe Saunders, you're going to have to add all of that to your arsenal, and you've never fought these types of fighters or geezers. So that's the only way that I can see that you're going to be able to. You're going to have to adapt like the Tyson Fury, being able to skip round that ring for 12 rounds if can do. Canelo does have engine problems, but I've seen it. It seems to be back to now. He's come out saying right, he ain't even been in camp. He was on the Akan Barak show, not trained for 10 days. So, do you remember he popped dirty with some nasal spray? Anyway, so if you're on that same nasal spray, that I just can't. I give up. So he quotes that if I get he says I never make excuses like for my wins. I'm paraphrasing. Like if I win or if I lose, there's never an excuse. So isn't this an excuse? Like isn't this an excuse? Like coming into a fight, isn't this already an excuse? So he says if I get beat or if I win this fight, I'll never make an excuse. If I'm not good enough to beat Alvarez on the 8th, I'm never good enough to beat him at all. So, if you're saying that because you're ill and you haven't trained enough, that this could be the reason why you'd lose, why? And you're saying that this version of you, if this version of you doesn't beat Canelo, then you never will be able to. So then does it matter if you've got the flu then? Does it matter then if you... Basically, no version of you will beat. So why are you bringing up the flu? Like, it makes no sense. If this version of you doesn't beat him and no version of you, so no version of you in tip-top condition doesn't beat him either. So why mention the flu? Why mention any of this? Like, I know he's got dark humour, but this isn't actually... They said in the... If you're saying that because you're ill and you haven't trained enough, that this could be the reason why you'd lose, why... And you're saying that this version of you, if this version of you doesn't beat Canelo, then you never will be able to. So then does it matter if you've got the flu then? Does it matter then if you... Basically, no version of you will beat. So why are you bringing up the flu? Like, it makes no sense. If this version of you doesn't beat him and no version of you, so no version of you in tip-top condition doesn't beat him either. So why mention the flu? Why mention any of this? Like, I know he's got dark humour, but this isn't actually... They said in the... Because I was just trying to work it out, and I must have confused you guys. Do you get it? He makes no sense. That's my whole point. It makes no sense. Just don't take the fight then, mate. That just say that you can't beat Canelo. Anyway, I'm so done with BJS. I'm sure the saga will continue. Stand by as it unfolds. Hey girl, it's Leonie Shamrock, nonetheless, come box with Shan. Gun! Guys, I've noticed that 67% of you are not subscribed, but are continuously watching my channel and watching my content. Thank you, I appreciate it, but it's time to subscribe now, don't you think? Subscribe. Click the link. It's easy. Press the like button as well, so then everybody knows that when I'm on, you know, YouTube will push me out there in your little suggestion box, and click the notification bell. You won't get me going, I'm on, but, you know, you'll have the YouTube dry version. Hey, subscribe. Go!